ಹಲೋ ಎವ್ರಿವನ್, ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ಮೈ ಚಾನಲ್ ಸಿಯಾರಾಮ್. ನಿನ್ನೆ ವಿಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕ್ಲಾಸು ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದು ರೇಷಿಯೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸು. ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಮುಂಚೆ ಯಾರು ನನ್ನ ಚಾನಲ್ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವೋ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಟಾಪಿಕಿಂದ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ನೋ ದಿ ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್. Proportion means when two ratios are equal in their least form. When two ratios are equal in their least form. In their least form. So in their least form means if I take two ratios 36 is to 45 and 48 is to 60. Is these two ratios are proportion? We check it once. 36 is to 45 is also right. 36 by 45. These numbers are cancelled in 9 tables. 9 fours are 9 fives are. So 4 divided by 5 means 4 is to 5. This ratio is also written in the form 48 by 60. These numbers are cancelled in 12 tables. 12 fours are 12 fives are. So this also right, 4 is to 5. Both ratios are same. So 36 is to 45 is proportion to 48 is to 60. Got it? So proportion means when two ratios are equal in their least form. So when two ratios are equal in the least form, so then the two ratios are called proportion. In generally, it is denoted by if A is to B and C is to D. These two ratios are proportion. It is denoted by A is to B is proportion to C is to D. So it read it as A is to B is proportion to C is to D. So double is to anta read ಮಾಡೋ ಹಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. We read it as A is to B proportion to C is to D. Got it? So in this, the end numbers means A and D. This is middle numbers. Which are middle numbers? B and C. The end numbers A, and D are called extremes. A and D are called extremes and B and C are called means. So in this proportion 36 and 60s are called extremes, 45 and 48 are called means. Got it? And also there is another way to check two ratios are proportion. This is also one method to check two ratios are proportion. And also there is another way to check two ratios are proportion. A is to B is proportion to C is to D. If A is to B is proportion to C is to D, if product of extremes is equal to product of means. This also another way to check two ratios are proportion. For example, 4 is to 6 and 6 is to 9. Is this two ratios are proportion? We check it once by using this result. Product of extremes means n numbers. Product A into D. Product of means product of middle numbers B and C. So we write this in general form. 4 is to 6, proportion to 6 is to 9. We calculate the product of extremes and product of means. Product of extremes 4 into 9. 4 nines are 36. Product of means 6 into 6 is equal to 36. So product of extremes is equal to product of 36. So therefore the two ratio 4 is to 6 is proportion to 6 is to 9. Got it? Next topic is mean proportion. Mean proportion. We know that general form of the proportion is A is to B is proportion to C is to D. But we define the mean proportion. Mean, we know that mean means middle numbers. So in mean proportion, we write the proportion in general form in the form of A is to B is proportion to B is to C. So in mean proportion we find the value of B. So mean means B. So in this case we write the Proportion in the form A is to B is proportion to B is to C. Then B is called mean proportion. Then B is called mean proportion. B is called mean proportion to A and C. If A is to B is proportion to B is to C, then B is called mean proportion to A and C. So how to find the B in this case? A, you write the proportion in the form A is to B is proportion to B is to C. Find the product of extremes and product of means. So we know that proportion means product of extremes is equal to product of means. So product of extremes ಏನಿದೆ A into C is equal to B into B. That means AC is equal to B square. So which implies B square is equal to AC. That means B is equal to plus or minus square root of. So in this case we find the mean proportion. Mean proportion means B. The value of B is called a mean proportion. So B is equal to plus or minus square root of AC. So in mean proportion we consider only positive value, so we neglect the negative value. So B is equal to root of AC. This is the formula for finding the mean proportion of A and C. Got it? For example, find the mean proportion of 3 and 12. Mean proportion of 3 and 12. To solve this problem, we use this formula and also this condition. Here A is equal to 3 and C is equal to 12. And ನಾವು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದೇನು ಬಿ. ಮೀನ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೇನು ಬಿನ ನಾವು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ದಿ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಬಿ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಸಿ. B is equal to root of AC. So B is equal to root of A means 3 into 12. So that means square root of 36. Square root of 36 means 6. The mean proportion of 3 and 12 is 6. This is one method for finding the mean proportion. And there is another method for finding the mean proportion. So that means we find the mean proportion of 3 and 12. So we know that in mean proportion, the proportion we generally write in the form A is to B is proportion to B is to C. So here A means 3. We don't know the value of B. So B write as it is. Proportion to B is to C. C value is 12. Then find the product of extremes and product of means. So product of means B into B, that means B square. Product of extreme means 12 into 3. 12 into 3, that means 36. So which implies B is equal to root of 36, that means 6. So in this method we also find the mean proportion. Next topic is third proportion. Third proportion. So third proportion means if A is to B is proportion to B is to C, then C is called mean proportion means the value of B. So in this case we find the third proportion. Third proportion means the value of C. Then C is called the third proportion of A and B. So that means to find the third proportion there is formula. We find the formula as it is. Take the proportion A is to B is proportion to B is to C. Then find the product of extremes and product of means. So that means B square is equal to AC. So in this case we calculate the third proportion. Third proportion means C. So we solve this equation in C. So C is equal to B square by A is the formula for finding the third proportion. For example, find the third proportion of 2 and 8. Here A is equal to 2, B is equal to 8 and C we calculate 8. So we directly apply this formula. C is equal to B square by A. B square by A. So that means C is equal to B square means 8 square by 2. So 8 square means 64. 8 into 8, 64 by 2. So 2 ones are, 2 threes are, 2 twos are. So the value of C is 32. So the third proportion of 2 and 8 is 32. This is the one method for finding the third proportion, and there is another method to find the third proportion of 2 and 8. We write this in the form 2 is to 8 is proportion to 8 is to C. We don't the value of C. So we write C as it is. So then we find the product of extremes and product of 8. Proportion means product of extremes is equal to product of means. So, product of extremes 2c is equal to 8 into 8. That means 64. So, C is equal to 64 by 2. That means 2 ones are 232s. So, which implies C is equal to 32. Got it? This is the concept of third proportion. Next topic is fourth proportion. So fourth proportion means in this write the proportion in the form A is to B is proportion to C is to D. General form. ಸೊ ನಾವೇನು ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ನ ಜನರಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಿತೀವೋ ಅದೇ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊತೀವಿ. ಎ ಇಸ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಟು ಸಿ ಇಸ್ ಟು ಡಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಡಿ is called the fourth proportion. D is called the fourth proportion. If A is to B is proportion to C is to D, then D is called fourth proportion of A, B and C. To find the fourth proportion, there is one formula. To find the fourth proportion, we write the proportion in general form. A is to B is proportion to C is to D. Then find the product of extreme and product of means. We know that in proportion product of extremes is equal to product of means. So, which implies product of extremes A into D is equal to product of means B into C. So, in this case we find the value of D. So, D is equal to B into C means BC by A. BC by A. This is the formula for finding the fourth proportion of A, B and C. There is one example. Find the fourth proportion of 4, 6 and 8. 4, 6 and 8. Here A is equal to 4, B is equal to 6, C is equal to 8. In this case we find D. To find D, there is formula D is equal to BC by A. We directly substitute the value of ABC value in this formula. So this equal to 6 into 8 by 4. So 4 ones are 4 twos are. So this equal to 12. So the fourth proportion of 4, 6 and 8 is 12. This is direct method to find the fourth proportion. There is another method to find the fourth proportion. 4, 6 and 8. We write this in the general form of the proportion. 4:6 is proportion to 8:D. ಡಿನ ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So which implies in this proportion product of extremes is equal to product of means. 4 into D is equal to 6 into 8. So D is equal to 6 into 8 by 4. 4 ones are 4 twos are, so 12. So in this way is also way to find the fourth proportion. Got it? ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಇವತ್ತಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಈ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ನ ಎಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಏನು ನೀವು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಗಳನ್ನ ರೇಷಿಯೋಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೋ ಆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗ್ತೀನಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.